Tonight on the NTV Evening News Hour. Charges have been upgraded for a man accused of impaired driving after a 6-year-old boy died in hospital.
The family has lost their 6-year-old child as a result of the actions of this man. The first responders that responded, my colleagues within the RNC, this is a call that will stick with them for the rest of their career.
Nearly a year after the Kingston wildfire, police are renewing their call for residents who have information to come forward.
We believe there may still be witnesses and people in our communities with information that have not yet spoken directly with police.
The 208th Royal St. John's Regatta is fast approaching. Crews are working hard, getting ready for race day.
And another year, another George Street Festival. Join me live down on the street. Lots of local talent to showcase this year, and some come from a ways as well. We're here from a few of them, and of course, talk about if that rain holds off. Full details coming up.
The award-winning NTV Evening News Hour with Tony Marie Wiseman, Michael Connors, and your weather forecast with Ryan Harding.
Good evening. Michael Connors is off tonight. A 6-year-old boy has died in an alleged impaired driving incident last Thursday evening.
The Royal Newfoundland Constabulary has upgraded charges against 32-year-old Tyler Julian Day. Day now faces impaired driving causing death and failing to remain at the scene of an accident. NTV's Beth Penny shares more in tonight's top story.
A devastating tragedy that happened right here on July 23rd at the intersection of Thorburn Road and Larcall Street.
The family has lost their 6-year-old child as a result of the actions of this man.
The accused impaired driver was charged in connection with the hit-and-run incident. Tragically, the 6-year-old boy passed away earlier this week due to his injuries. Now, those charges against Day have been upgraded to include impaired driving causing death, failure to remain at the scene of an accident causing death, among others.
The family has lost their 6-year-old child as a result of the actions of this man. The first responders that responded, my colleagues within the RNC, this is a call that will stick with them for the rest of their career. Unfortunately, most of our members on operational patrol services or in the force will have a couple of those calls that you respond to as a patrol officer, and I know that's what we sign up to do. But you hope that it's never you that responds to these calls. We all have a couple of those calls that stick with us. I think for the officers that responded to this incident on this day, this will be one of those calls that will stick with them in their careers. It is devastating. It is, there's no place for it in our community.
Day appeared in court this morning, and police say a big part of the reason that he was caught was because a member of the public witnessed the accident and then followed the accused's vehicle and contacted police. Meanwhile, family and loved ones are preparing to say their final goodbye. The 6-year-old boy will be laid to rest this evening at the Muslim cemetery in St. John's.
Impaired driving is a choice that drivers make. It is absolutely unacceptable, and it affects, as we can see here today, it affects families, it affects lives, and families are devastated because of the outcomes and because of the choices that those drivers make.
The RNC is reminding the public that anyone who witnesses a tragic event like this one is encouraged to contact 811 for mental health support. Beth Penny, NTV News.
The RCMP say the investigation into the cause of the devastating Conception Bay North wildfire last year remains ongoing. Police are renewing their call for residents who have information to come forward. NTV's Bailey Howard has the story.
The RCMP is running low on leads into the cause of the Conception Bay North wildfire.
We know that our communities are eager for a clear and complete resolution, and quite frankly, they deserve it.
The investigation remains active and ongoing, but all potential suspects to date have been cleared. While the fire has been deemed suspicious, police cannot conclusively say that it was an act of arson. That news came as the RCMP held a press conference on Thursday morning, just days before the 1-year anniversary of the devastating wildfire that took with it dozens of homes on the North Shore. Inspector Adam Palmer says persons of interest that have been ruled out include those that were subject to speculation on social media and those who were in close proximity to one or more of the fires at the time they were reported.
Every person that we cleared is a step forward because it's one less person that we have to look at.
During and around the time of the fire, there were a number of break-and-enters and thefts reported in the area, but police say there is no reason to believe there is a connection.
Right now, those are being treated as separate and being treated as people who took advantage of a disaster situation for their own benefit.
That is before the courts. Palmer also shared that the investigation into the Adams Cove fire in May 2025 has concluded. That fire was investigated by the Provincial Resource Enforcement Division, who determined no further police investigation was required. As the investigation into the August fire continues, the RCMP is pressing the public for information.
We believe there may still be witnesses and people in our communities with information that have not yet spoken directly with police. It is possible these details could be helpful to our investigation, but I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to contact police directly and file an official report.
Palmer urged residents with information to contact the Harbour Grace RCMP detachment directly to help police separate fact from fiction.
We know that in our small, close-knit communities, people may be nervous about coming forward and speaking to police. Our officers can provide support and assist as necessary with safety planning if you need to.
Bailey Howard, NTV News.
Meanwhile, a town hall is being held in Conception Bay North this evening ahead of the one-year anniversary of that devastating wildfire. The town hall is being held at the Salem Community Center, hosted by the town of Small Point, Broad Cove, Blackhead, Adams Cove. Updates will be given on town council projects, wildfire recovery, and what's ahead for the North Shore. The Department of Forestry will also be presenting and handing out free tree saplings after so many trees burned down in that fire. They will be handed out first come, first serve.
Bell Island RCMP are investigating a fatal single-vehicle crash near the community's airstrip and are asking the public for help as the investigation continues. Police say officers responded to the scene around 8:30 Tuesday morning after receiving a report of a single-vehicle crash. A 58-year-old man was found dead near the vehicle. RCMP officers remained on scene Wednesday afternoon, leading police to advise the public to avoid the area while the investigation was underway. Investigators say the death is not considered suspicious. However, the cause of the crash has not yet been determined. Anyone with information, including surveillance or dash camera footage that may assist the investigation, is asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers.
A pedestrian was taken to hospital on Wednesday night after being struck by a Metrobus. The incident happened on Elizabeth Avenue near Elizabeth Towers at about 9:45 p.m. Witness reports from the scene indicate the male pedestrian left the sidewalk in front of an eastbound Metrobus and was struck. The individual was helped by first responders before being placed in an ambulance. He was taken to hospital with injuries not believed to be life-threatening.
There was an increased police presence in Port Saunders today as they were working on an ongoing investigation in the area. At around 5 p.m., the RCMP said the operation concluded and residents could return to their regular activities. There will be an ongoing law enforcement presence in the town as police demobilize and the investigation continues. Port Saunders RCMP are also seeking the public's help in finding this wanted person, Tyler Bennett. The 33-year-old is the subject of an arrest warrant and is currently evading police. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
MusicNL unveiled their 2026 award nominees at the Spirit of Newfoundland in St. John's today. NTV's Kyle Brookings was there and has more in this report.
117 people were nominated for MusicNL awards today. MusicNL celebrates and recognizes over 25 categories. The categories reflect those who make up the music industry in Newfoundland and Labrador. Tamara Cater is the executive director of MusicNL. She says MusicNL has everyone from new faces to rising stars nominated.
We're just so excited. It is a fabulous array of talent. There are lots of new faces. There are lots of folks who are rising stars who are really starting to take their place in the music community, tour around the world, and we are just so thrilled to celebrate them today.
Cater explains that the music industry in the province is growing.
You know, it says that it's growing, and it is such an important economic contributor to the activity in our province. We love music. We need music as humans, and it does carry our culture across the world. But we also know that when people come visit us, they want to know our music. We know what a wonderful part of the tourism economy music is. We're strong at it, and it is increasingly becoming a key part of our provincial economy.
One of the nominees, Rachel Cousins, explains how she felt when she found out she was nominated.
I mean, it's always so lovely. I feel very appreciative. I'm very grateful, very humbled. I am always very grateful to be nominated alongside really good friends of mine and people I really look up to, and that very much so inspire me, and that inspired this last album. So it always means a lot. My heart's very full, for sure.
This year's awards will be presented during MusicNL Week, which takes place from October 1st to October 4th. In St. John's, Kyle Brookings, NTV News.
Well, a boost in the technology sector has sent North American markets higher today. The TSX is up 172 points to 35,506, while Venture Exchange is up 17 points to 876. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 614 to 52,208, while NASDAQ is up 679 to 25,122. Gold is up 47.4 cents to $4,114.96 U.S. an ounce, while Brent crude oil is down $1.62 to $89.12 U.S. per barrel. The Canadian dollar is up 0.24 to 71.42 cents U.S. Fortis down 47 cents a share to $80.55. Meanwhile, Labrador iron ore is down 0.07 to $26.57. Altius Minerals is up 22 cents to $59.25.
Tonight's weather brought to you by GMC's employee pricing for you. Get up to a $16,240 cash purchase credit today on a 2026 GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate.
Well, it's almost August, but it hasn't really felt like summer so far this week.
You know, it really hasn't. We had a great warm July, Ryan, and then it kind of cooled. But later today, it did kind of warm up a little bit, and it looks kind of nice now where you are, Ryan.
Yeah, no, summer's over. For the next few days anyway, on the eastern side, it's that pesky north wind. Bit of an eastern tilt tomorrow is going to bring that fog right back in. But I'll tell you what, a little bit of fog for George Street Festival just helps set the stage that much more. It helps the lights shine just that much more bright. And there's always something special about hearing those local tunes come through that eerie backdrop, isn't it? So we're down on George Street here. The last time we got together, we mentioned some local talent was going to join us. Man of my word, we've got Nick Earl joining us of Nick Earl and the Reckless Hearts. Welcome back home.
Hey, thank you.
First of all, it's been a busy summer for you. You just knocked off the Ottawa Blues Fest up in the nation's capital, spent some time in Nova Scotia. Before we get into this, why don't you tell me a little bit about that, sharing the stage with Sheryl Crow, Limp Bizkit. Yeah, Limp Bizkit, man. It's a big name, I promise. How was it?
Oh, it's incredible. You know, any opportunity to represent the province, doing what we do, you know, playing rock and roll music and just, you know, sharing what we do with the world, and it's just an incredible opportunity. Get on these bigger stages, especially, you know, I'm right from here in St. John's, you know, coming from a, you know, smaller city and getting just to take in and see the world and spread some rock and roll around. It's been nothing but an amazing experience.
You're going to share the stage tomorrow night with Alan Doyle, of course, another local talent that has national and international experience that started right here. So can we tell me a little bit about that, how this stage is the level up from, I guess, coming out of the bars that we see around it? How does this help project a career or get you ready for the Ottawa Blues Fest and these tours across Canada?
Yeah, it's always been run really professionally down here. It's an excellent launch pad for, you know, any emerging artists. You know, last time I did this, I think was 3 years ago. We were opening, doing the early slot for Third Eye Blind, but getting on a festival stage, learning how a crew runs the stage, how, you know, people run these shows so professionally, it really just prepares you for the bigger opportunities that come along the way.
So it's country night tonight. We've got Josh Ross. I'll introduce you to him in just a moment for those at home who might not know. We mentioned tomorrow you and Alan Doyle. Tell me a little bit more about what's on the docket for you and your band. What can we look out for?
Yeah, we're on the road all summer leading into the fall. You can check the dates out. It's nickearl.ca. And then, yeah, we're right back in the studio in the fall working on some new music.
Awesome. Well, if it's anything like, I guess it's not old music, but if it's anything like the last music, can't wait to hear it. So thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Good luck tomorrow night. Can't wait to hear it. Again, taking the stage with Alan Doyle down here at George Street Festival. We'll dive into the weather, but pretty soon the gates are going to open here, and it's going to look a little bit like this. So we'll tell you by graphic here what we're in for in terms of that weather. There's the crowd that's going to pile in. Let's zoom out and see exactly what we're in for on George Street Fest. So tonight we've got Josh Ross kicking them off. I said I'd introduce you to him. There he is there, topping both the Canadian and American country charts currently, and he is backed up by Justin Fancy of CBS. But first we're going to hear Carla Pilgrim out of Roddington, so a local and national talent. You see that rain there? Don't let it scare you. 14 degrees holds true. That's in the form of drizzle, though, and it's going to take a little bit of time tonight for that to come into fruition. We'll take a quick peek at the eastern side of the island, and you see a north wind right now at that 6 p.m. hour, and it's very light, but we're in for a sunset in Grand Bank and St. Lawrence by the looks of things. Cloud does come and go, but it looks like the majority of the time spent overnight will be under that cloud. There's the wind shifting east. That's going to bring the fog in. We'll talk about that in just a moment. You see a little dampness on the screen as well, so there is some drizzle, but what we see here is some downright rain. It's light, and it passes by up the southern shore into Cape Broyle. Takes a little bit longer to pass through St. John's specifically. We're going to wait right until about 5 p.m. to see some very light rain pass through. Bay Roberts is in that conversation, as well as Sunnyside, and at times Clarenville. We'll see some light rain across the Burin Peninsula and brushing Port Rexton and Bonavista as well. And then here at 11 p.m., so just as we're thinking about winding down on stage, if you kick around too long, you might get that second wave of rain. Here's the fog we're talking about. So even by 8 p.m. this evening, we haven't seen it just yet. But as we roll through those overnight hours, very early Friday morning, yeah, we're into it. And that's where that east wind really takes off. It doesn't pick up, it just kind of changes. We're in a 20 kilometer per hour limit for that gust tomorrow. But you can see by that noon hour, we're still in it in St. John's. And tomorrow night, when Nick Earl and the Reckless Hearts and Alan Doyle take the stage, there it is, the backdrop of that fog hanging St. John's as well as Bay de Verde, Bonavista, and Lumsden, and it looks like St. Anthony in for some fog as well. All right, let's open things up here this evening where we see some light rain brushing by Corner Brook at times, but picks up in Port aux Basques tomorrow morning. What we're going to see then is it just be a consistent light rain. Let's watch it move over Stephenville into Corner Brook through the afternoon. Just continue to be around, but continue to be on the light side. We're going to see anywhere from 5 to 10 millimeters. It looks like now it's trending to be closer to the lower end, maybe even a bit below. And the eastern side of the northern peninsula and Bayvert Peninsula has some light rain passing by tomorrow evening as well. In terms of the daytime highs, we see 17 through Grand Falls, Windsor, and Lewisport. 15 in St. Anthony. We have the chance to hit the 20 mark in Stephenville. We'll hold at 19 Deer Lake through to Corner Brook. So what we are going to see tomorrow again is the return of the chance of a little bit of humidity. We'll go over some of those top feels-like temperatures today, but basically what we saw was a 3 to 4 degree increase of that base temperature to what it actually felt like based on the humidex. Over to the eastern side of the island in terms of those daytime highs, we're going to take a bit back once we see that east wind roll through. 15, as warm as it gets in St. John's, but just like today, further south on the Avalon, and this time the further west, the better chance you have of seeing some of those top temperatures. 21 Placentia through Argentia. We'll lose it again in Marystown at 18. And we saw a little earlier, yeah, there's some breaks in the cloud on the Burin Peninsula, but some moments of rain as well. And it's nighttime rain for Gander, and we're in that 2 to 4 millimeter range there as well. How's Labrador doing? Let's take a quick peek at tomorrow's conditions and daytime highs. We're going to see the cloud increase from Cartwright through to Mary's Harbor and Red Bay. It should, for the most part, stay dry. We have lots of sun in Happy Valley Goose Bay, but the clouds do come together in the evening for some light rain. We're actually going to be able to divide Labrador pretty well from Makovic down, leaving the west side and the north coast in the sun for the most part. You can see through the early hours of the morning that's starting to take shape. Regatta has a very light rain passing through it first thing in the morning. Not a whole lot to it. You do see a little coastal rain there on the very southeast coast of Labrador at the noon hour. All the while, plenty of sun in Happy Valley Goose Bay to accompany that 23 degrees and nothing but in Labrador City with that same temperature. As those clouds again kind of shape around Happy Valley Goose Bay, at the supper hour we're looking clear, but they do making a liar out of me. Look at that. That has changed a little bit. And actually what I notice here on the fly is the wind direction has changed a little bit as well. So with that south wind, it looks like that's doing a little bit extra handiwork with those clouds. And it looks like it's also going to keep the rain outside of Churchill Falls. So when I was preparing this earlier, at this point, there was some rain moving over the Churchill Falls region. That looks to have pulled back just a little bit. So I'll do a little bit of homework now between now and the next time we get together and see how confident we feel in that. But I do want to take note the difference of temperature, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and Nain. And again, that's the difference between some wind off the water and off the land. The other thing we'll do when we get back is we'll take a 3-day, we'll bring that as always out into a 5-day, get you right through the weekend and into next week. And of course, we'll keep an eye on George Street Festival and any rain that could be accompanied with it. But it's going to be a great time down here, Amanda and Ben. Next time you check on in, we'll see what we got in store for you.
Sounds great, Ryan. We'll see you then. Well, the town of Gander recognized the importance of military presence in the community today. NTV's Colleen Lewis has more on how the town prepares for the Festival of Flight.
In Gander on Thursday, councillors served up some lunch for local troops, including Mayor Percy Farwell, in what's become an annual event.
Very fun week, you know, and it's a chance for the community to celebrate itself, really, and to we try to organize a lot of stuff that is reflective of our community, you know, that's good for young and old. It reflects the military presence here, which you see the event we're at here today now is our Support the Troops event. Because we have a big presence here with the 103 Search and Rescue and 9 Wing and their NATO and NORAD function here. So we're very proud to have it in the community, and this is an event we have every year to show support to them.
But today is just the beginning of a weekend celebration as the annual Festival of Flight kicks off for another summer.
Well, there's a bit of something for everybody, you know, and which is great. We have some aviation-related things going on. There's going to be a fly-in here, a static display of aircraft from private aircraft operators and that sort of stuff. We have, in lieu of the big fireworks display we usually do at the end of the festival, which is becoming increasingly unpredictable to be able to do, given our on-again, off-again fire bans and these sorts of things, and the issues around, you know, the challenges of fireworks in terms of sensitivities and that sort of stuff. We've gone this year with a full-on drone show at the end of the festival this year. So it ties nicely with our aviation theme. That's going to be kind of cool. We've got a comedy night tomorrow night with Matt Wright and friends. Local guy Matt Wright, who's made a name for himself in comedy. There's a lot of things going on.
The festival will continue here until Monday, August 3rd. For NTV News, I'm Colleen Lewis in Gander.
Well, the 208th Royal St. John's Regatta is fast approaching. Crews are working hard, training for race day, which is set for August 5th. As NTV's Aurora Hickey tells us, a former championship team is back on the pond.
After a 3-year hiatus, the Fine Strokes rowing team is returning to the lake this season. James Cadigan is a member of the team and says the regatta has always played a huge role in his life.
I would say my parents had me down at the lake, you know, not long after my birthday. You know, it really just came naturally, and you know, I've always had a lot of pride in being a part of this event and always look forward to the regatta every year.
It was a time for celebration. The team last rowed in 2023 and won the men's championship race. Crew member Brent Payne says the time is right to come back together and try to claim the title once again.
I think part of it is we all just love the sport. We love rowing. Couldn't stay away from it a little bit, but I think, you know, some of us are getting a little bit older. I think most of us are in our mid-30s to early 40s, so I think, you know, a little bit of now or never. We wanted to come back and still do it while we could row competitively.
The crew has been training since January, and it has been no easy feat. Payne says even with young families at home, the team manages to work out around 12 times a week.
Yeah, so again, 6 days a week we're on water. We're on the rowing machines 4 days a week, and then we have a few strength and mobility sessions in the week. So really it's about 12 sessions a week, and you know, that's where the support of the family comes in to allow us to do that.
Both Cadigan and Payne say that their goal is the same as what's gotten them the win in the past,
to work hard and row as fast as they can. Cadigan says the big day is fast approaching, and the team couldn't be more excited to row together again. Aurora Hickey, NTV News.
Still ahead in tonight's newscast, an antique car show is coming to the Confederation Building. Sharon Snow will have the details in your community. And when we return on the Inside Story, we hear again from the RCMP, who are asking the public for information as they continue to investigate the Kingston wildfire. Welcome back to the NTV Evening News Hour. Tonight on the Inside Story, we hear again from the RCMP about their investigation into the cause of that devastating wildfire in Conception Bay North last summer. Police are renewing their call for residents who have information to come forward.
The police investigation into the origins of the fire remains active. The cause of the fire has not yet been conclusively determined, and no criminal charges have been laid to date. Over the past 11 months, the investigation into the cause of the fire has been led by the members of our Major Crimes Unit with support of specialists, both internal and external to the RCMP. This includes, but is not limited to, forensic specialists, polygraph, experts in fire investigations and fire behavior, as well as investigators from other provinces who have experience leading these types of investigations. Our team remains committed to ensuring a fulsome and evidence-based investigation is completed. We continue to collaborate with the Provincial Resource Enforcement Division. The information and evidence they have collected while responding to and investigating other fires in the region last summer are important to our ongoing and active investigation. A number of individuals were brought to the attention of our investigators as possibly having direct knowledge of and/or involvement in these fires. This includes individuals who may have been in close proximity to one or more of the fires around the time a fire was reported. These individuals have all been thoroughly investigated and subsequently cleared as being involved in any of the reported fires. Our investigators are continuing to follow on every lead possible. We believe there may still be witnesses and people in our communities with information that have not yet spoken directly with police. Some of those who have spoken with our investigators have provided details or stories that were shared with them by friends or neighbors or even gleaned from social media. It is possible these details could be helpful to our investigation, but I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to contact police directly and file an official report so we may be able to separate fact from fiction. We know that in our small, close-knit communities, people may be nervous about coming forward and speaking to police. Our officers can provide support and assist as necessary with safety planning if you need to. So please, if you have any information and have not spoken to police, we ask that you contact the Harbour Grace RCMP detachment directly, contacting their non-emergency line, and they will put you in contact with one of our investigators. The phone number for Harbour Grace RCMP is 709-596-5014.
In national news, the Union for WestJet flight attendants issued a 72-hour strike notice, which could see a work strike as early as Sunday. And some WestJet flights could begin to be grounded Friday as strike deadline nears. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee.
Yes, there is a potential strike brewing here at Pearson International Airport, with about 4,400 WestJet flight attendants saying they could walk off the job as soon as 2 a.m. Sunday. Now, the union representing the flight attendants says it has issued a 72-hour strike notice after 99.4% of its members voted in favor of a strike on July the 15th. WestJet confirms that it responded with a 72-hour lockout notice. Now, QP Local 8125, the union representing the flight attendants, says it's been very clear about what they're fighting for, but says the parties are still too far apart on some key issues. The main stumbling block is over what's called the credit hour system, which the union alleges means some flight attendants are working up to 35 hours for free every month. And they're now asking to be paid for their entire duty period from check-in to when they clock out, and not just for flight time plus a partial ground duty payment. This is the same issue that was behind a 3-day strike involving about 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants last year, which impacted flights for about 500,000 passengers. Here's reaction to the possible labor stoppage at Terminal 3 today.
We're going to Vancouver for my brother's wedding. If it happens, yeah, it affects our work schedule. Our kids are with their grandparents, so everything would kind of get pushed back. It'd be pretty inconvenient.
I think it causes some anxiety for us. Our kids are at home, like my husband said, so just, fingers crossed that everything goes smooth.
Well, I'm starting to get worried about it. If they do, then I don't know if I'm going to be back in time for work on Tuesday.
Now, WestJet says it doesn't anticipate any immediate impact to air travel. However, that may change the sooner or closer they get to the deadline. In the meantime, it is offering passengers the ability to change or cancel flights if they have flights booked between August 30th, or rather July 30th and August the 4th.
Tonight's weather
brought to you by your Atlantic Ford store. Go the distance with the 2026 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid.
How are we doing, Newfoundland and Labrador? Back live on George Street. George Street Festival is officially kicked off. Carla Pilgrim of Roddington Bide Arm, where there's a little bit of rain coming tomorrow night, about 2 to 3 millimeters in that neck of the woods. A little further south from that, we're going to pick right back up with some humidity tomorrow. So on that, when we dive in and check our humidity tracker for the western and central regions on the island, and we'll go from there. And as you can see on the graphic, that this is just about where we had it put for today. It does increase through the Friday, dip back down for Saturday, and then you can see early next week it looks like we're headed into a muggy territory. So as I say, that's very similar to what we had today. So what we felt is what we're going to feel into tomorrow. Slightly humid, isn't it? So today's top feels like goes to Stephenville. How you doing? Stephenville felt like 30 degrees. And if you joined us last night, welcome back. If you didn't, where were you to? 28 to 30 is what we said the feels like we're going to be. And look at the drop-off there in Grand Falls, Windsor. I think we'll be able to pick that up a little bit tomorrow. But that base daytime high in Grand Falls, Windsor, not all that high tomorrow, 15 degrees-ish. Now, let's see how that compares to the rest of the country. 23 degrees in beautiful Fort McMurray. How are you, Fort Mac? Good to see you. I hope you're having a great day. It's a degree warmer down in Calgary, and they'll let you know. 27 in Regina. We pick up 29 in Winnipeg. Some light rain brushing the south portion of those provinces. That's all clear in Toronto. 27 sun and cloud. 26 in Montreal, where the rain has passed. And on our way to our new favorite spot, St. Louis du Ha-Ha, hey? Halifax and Charlottetown, some rain. And that's the rain that's going to wind up in our province tomorrow. Speaking of our province, we didn't do it the last time we got together, so why don't we do it now? Take a quick trip around, see where you're taking us. June Lilly takes us to beautiful Postville. A little extra cloud tomorrow, Postville, compared to this, but the sun will shine through. Not completely unlike this, with a nice Inukshuk there in the foreground and an even nicer backdrop to boot. And we moved down. We had the Prime Minister in the Tablelands over the weekend. We had Jana Lee there. And look at the beautiful sky. Absolutely perfect picture of the crew, so thank you for that. And we move a little bit further inland. We find Steadybrook. The name is hiding behind some of the mountains there. So too was Tyson. What a spot for a dip, hey? And there was moments like this out there today for those dips in Tyson. Thank you for your photos. We move along down into Marystown. Started with some sun. We'll take that. Daniel shows us the beautiful sunrise captured in Marystown. And we'll finish off in Beta Verde, one of my favorite spots to go for a drive. A rainbow and a moment of clarity and an otherwise drizzly, cloudy day. Now, last time we got together, we talked about some scattered showers moving about Friday. West Coast moving up to the northern peninsula into the evening. We zoom a little bit further and we can see that some of that passes through Fogo Island, Twillingate, Change Island, and the Bay Verte Peninsula as well. The totals are pretty limited, as mentioned, in and around that 2 to 4 millimeter range. There's the return of some rain in St. John's, where on the high end, we'll likely see 3 to 5 millimeters. And the bulk of that coming later in the evening, finishing off through the overnight, which sets up a Saturday of much the same scattered showers and some cloud. Nothing overly significant, nothing overly long-lasting, just kind of there as a threat all day. And again, picking up in St. John's around that 5 p.m. mark and up into Labrador, the same scattered showers are going to be hidden in those scattered clouds. All that and more is shown here on the 5-day forecast, which you might notice a little less sun. So it looks like that cloud going to be a little more prevalent through. But as you can tell through the first 4 days at least, rain not the sentiment of the day, just kind of showing up here or there. The other thing we notice, sub 20 degrees the whole time. Now, over to the south coast, that rain looks to be a little more prevalent Friday and Saturday. The cloud, much the same Sunday into Monday, and we'll pick up with some heavier rain on the Tuesday. Over through central, we do have some 20s, and that's highlighted by Monday with sun and cloud and 26 degrees. Looks like the coldest is going to be that Friday at 18. Again, that's the region average. Further north you go, you have some northeast wind, so you're going to come down from that 18-degree mark just a little bit. And then Sunday, we level out at 21 degrees and cloud. Just a degree better on the west coast on Sunday, but the same cloud. There's the chance of that rain Friday right through the afternoon and evening. It looks to finish up Saturday morning. You might even see the sun break through at times on Saturday, but cloud really, again, much of the sentiment in that 5-day. We'll see much the same on the northern peninsula. If you're looking for the sun, there'll be moments on Friday and Monday. Other than that, the clouds hanging over. Cooler temperatures here as well. We can thank that north and east wind for that. To the south coast of Labrador, we gain a few. Look at that, 24, 22, 24. Some extra sun as well Saturday and Sunday. We'll take it before the rain on Monday and Tuesday. North coast, a little more damp. But we saw on Saturday there that there was the shifting cloud, so some sun opportunity to start the weekend. Much the same for Happy Valley Goose Bay. We'll just add that day of sun on Friday, and then it's off to the rain races Sunday through to Tuesday. And we'll finish things off in Labrador West. Sun and cloud Friday, Saturday. Looks like that flash comes in Saturday night, leading the way for some rain Sunday, Monday, before finishing up at some point on Tuesday.
Moving now to sports, the Toronto Blue Jays defeated the Washington Nationals 5-2 Wednesday. Here are the highlights.
Ernie Clements at the dish. Ernie hits it to left. Dalen Lyle cannot make the sliding catch. George Springer will score from second. Clements, AL leading 27th double of the year. And this baseball game is all tied up at ones. We're going to the bottom half of the inning now. House hits it to center field. Varsho is there. Varsho stumbles, but he makes the grab. It's his second web gem of the day on House, reminding us of a similar catch from Varsho last year. This one was against the Red Sox. Kind of close. Meanwhile, Savage went 6 2/3, allows 1 run on 3 hits. 7th inning, runners on the corners for Varsho. Hits the dribbler to third. House can't come up with it. The go-ahead run scores. It's a 2-1 Blue Jays lead. Top of 8 we go. To the 8th inning we go. 2 in scoring position for Kazuma Okamoto. He pops it up. Young. Oh, Young can't make the diving grab. 2-run score. Toronto added another in the inning. They lead it 5-1. Bottom half of the inning. It's a 5-2 ball game. Louis Varland's in. Bases loaded. 1 out. Louis strikes out Lyle. Varland got out of the inning. Recorded the 6-out save. Blue Jays get their first series win in 3 weeks.
Pretty good news. Well, now it's time for a quick break. Do stay with us, though. Coming up, Mary-Kate O'Neill takes us back to Twillingate. It's an encore presentation of Inspiring NL, her Tiny Town series. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Tonight on this encore edition of NTV's Inspiring NL, NTV's Mary-Kate O'Neill takes us back to her Talk of the Tiny Town series. Tonight, we head to Twillingate.
It's It's not uncommon for a song and dance to break out here on Iceberg Quest Ocean Tours in beautiful Twillingate.
Long may your big jet draw. Long may your big jet draw.
While there were no icebergs to be seen on this day, Twillingate is one of the stops along Iceberg Alley. This tiny town is now well known for these mighty ocean mountains, and so are the people who live here.
In Twillingate, there was no tourism really going on besides museums there. In '85, I put up a sign saying that boat tours there with my wooden boat, and I got a customer, and I did my first tour July 20, 1985. For 3 years I was there by myself in tourism, and now when I look around, I just have total satisfaction to see what's going on here.
But it's not just the icebergs that draw people from near and far to Twillingate. There's so much to do and see, and the people here welcome everyone with open arms.
Every year we see people from all around the world. We get to greet guests from every walks of life. Obviously most of our guests do come from what we call Upper Canada, so Ontario, Alberta, BC, but we have a great percentage that come from the US, the Eastern Seaboard, and then lots of guests that are coming from Germany, Netherlands, Switzerland, Belgium, UK.
If you could look up tiny town in Newfoundland and Labrador in a dictionary, you'd most likely find a description of Twillingate. This hidden gem symbolizes what so many little communities in our province have to offer.
People just don't come just for the icebergs. I mean, they come for the icons, the whales, the coastline, the seabirds. It's just fantastic. But mostly, we're internationally known as well as a very hospitable province, and people come here for our people. And that's one of our biggest assets, truly.
And while Twillingate and the people here take pride in being a beautiful hidden gem along the coastline, it's been rewarding to watch their tiny town grow into what it is now.
I think what's really, really important is understanding that we embrace who we are and that we believe that people who come here see that authentic sense of self that we have and that our love of our culture and our history. And I feel like that makes us very, very special, that sense of place.
For Inspiring NL, I'm Mary Kate O'Neill.
Well, this evening in your community, Sharon Snow is at the Confederation Building, where this weekend there will be a classic car show.
Tonight in your community, we are here at the front parking lot of Confederation Building to tell you about the 45th annual Antique and Classic Car Show. It's coming up this Saturday. I'm joined by Carl Hamlin, who is one of the founding members of this long-standing car show. Obviously, you have a passion for antique and classic cars, I can tell.
Absolutely. Been a car guy all my life since I was 5 or 6 years old. It's been a passion, and my whole family is involved in antique cars and collecting cars. So we do this car show every year to raise money for children's charities in this province, and it's a club event, so all our members get out and help out and just make it worthwhile.
Oh, so much fun. So it's happening on a Saturday, and there is a rain date, though, if the weather doesn't cooperate.
Yes, that's correct. It'll be Sunday if the weather doesn't cooperate on Saturday. Mm-hmm. If it looks like it's going to go at all, we will get it out on social media with the date. If it's going Saturday or Sunday by 7 o'clock, we'll make a decision, and we'll have it on social media by 7:30.
All right. Now, behind us, of course, are quite the eclectic group of gentlemen as well. I would say that they're the Mustang Club, because you have literally, 5 Mustangs behind us?
Well, yes, we put out a call for some cars, and when we got here, I realized we have 5 Mustangs. So
everyone loves a good Mustang, and yours is the one in the front, which is, what is that color you call that?
It's called Frost Turquoise and white. Yeah.
I love that. Now, of course, it gets underway on Saturday. Who else is going to be here?
Show starts at 12 noon, and we'll be joined by the Shriners. They will be here. Compass Shrine will be here selling hamburgers and and drinks to the public and some help raise them some money. And the money this year from the show and from the 50-50 lottery we're doing, proceeds will be shared up between the Compass Shrine for the Children's Travel Fund to send kids to specialty hospitals. And we also support the food bank, the Bridges to Hope Food Bank, and we support Ronald McDonald House. We have a scholarship program for children and grandchildren, our members. And so the money goes to good use in all areas.
And of course, this parking lot can accommodate about 100 plus antique and classic cars.
That's correct. We're expecting anywhere in 100 plus range for this, on this weekend. Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, if you are a car enthusiast, and particularly if you're a Mustang enthusiast, then this is where you're going to want to be on Saturday. It goes to support a wonderful cause, and you've been doing this for 45 years, and you have a pin right there.
I'll give you a 45th anniversary.
Oh, I love that.
On your lapel.
Well, thank you very much. I will wear that with pride. That's what's happening right here in your community. For NTV News, I'm Sharon Snow.
Well, turning to music and movie news now, here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
No Grammys for BTS next year. The K-pop supergroup announced they will not submit music to be considered for the 2027 Grammy Awards. A statement by the group included the hope that music can be heard and loved for what it is, rather than being divided by region or language. Last month, the Recording Academy confirmed next year's ceremony will include a new category for Asian pop music performance.
And I was surprised how easy it was. But I'm not finished yet. That's what excites me.
Here's your first look at Michael B. Jordan in the latest remake of The Thomas Crown Affair. He follows in the fashionable footsteps of Steve McQueen and Pierce Brosnan as a rich businessman turned art thief. Jordan does double duty directing the film as well. The Thomas Crown Affair is due in theaters next March. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, it's time for our final break here on the NTV Evening News Hour. Coming up, Ryan Harding will be back with a weather recap as we look to George Street Festival, first night of the festival. This is a shot taken by camera person Tony Barrington. Carla Pilgrim is on the stage. And when we return, Jim Furlong.
Welcome back to the NTV Evening News Hour. Jim Furlong tells us now what happened today in history.
It was, in short, a three-chord masterpiece, the Trogs, 1966. You all knew that. Something you didn't know, Chip Taylor history. This is Jim Furlong reporting.
Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation. We are the foundation that takes action so we all can take care of each other.
We begin by wishing Rex Parsons of Bloomfield a very happy 93rd birthday. A happy 60th anniversary to Lloyd and Joan Penny, who are celebrating in Salmon Cove. A happy 66th anniversary going out to Victor and Alicia Ivy of St. John's. Happy 53rd anniversary to Bill and Muriel Finley of Trepassey. Ooh, look there, look, 53 years ago on their wedding day. And it's a golden anniversary for Joan and David Rousel. Best wishes from family and friends. A happy 59th anniversary going out to Roland and Margaret Carter of Pools Island. A happy 52nd anniversary to Wayne and Marilyn Comden, who celebrated this week. A very happy anniversary to you. A happy 60th going out to Gerald and Bernice Walburn of Fogo. Happy anniversary. A happy golden anniversary to Gold and Myra Russell. Myra or Mira, I think it's Myra Russell of Bonavista. Look at that, 50 years ago. Happy anniversary. A happy birthday going out to Helen Spurl, who turns 98. She resides at Bishop's Gardens. Happy birthday. Happy 70th anniversary to Ruby Miles Brew and Andrew Brew. Very Happy anniversary to you. What a milestone. Happy 50th going out to Jim and Doreen Lane of Port aux Basques. They're celebrating there. There they are, lovely side by side. A happy 90th birthday going out to Mr. Howard Rideout. A very happy birthday to you, sir. A happy 50th to Ray and Mary Rousel. Love your family and friends. A happy 100th birthday going out to Azelma Green, celebrating 100 years. Amazing. Born in Fox Island and now lives in Halifax. I hope I'm saying your name right. It's a beautiful name. Azelma Green turns 100. Happy birthday. Happy 50th going out to Loyola and Verna Sullivan from your friends and family. A happy 93rd birthday to William Perry from your wife and children. A happy 90th birthday to Joan Osmond of Port aux Basques. Best wishes from family and friends. A happy 50th to Larry and Valerie Whalen of Lassie. Happy 90th going out to Lucy Pierce of Mount Pearl. Happy birthday to you. And finally this evening, a happy 61st anniversary going out to Robert and Barbara Tilley of Foxtrap.
Well, yeehaw, boys. Country night down on George Street for the festival to kick off. Carla Pilgrim again. Killing it on stage. What a voice. It looks like the drizzle and fog's going to hold off until about midnight tonight, roll through to tomorrow morning. And it's tomorrow morning where we see some rain entering in through Port aux Basques, working its way up the west coast into the northern peninsula and a little bit brushing past the central as well. We have that light rain at times in parts of Labrador tomorrow, and the shifting cloud for some sun and clouds specifically, Cartwright down to the bottom of that coastline there. All right, we'll send it back to you, ma'am, cowboy.
Thank you very much, Ryan. You know, I think Ryan looks pretty good in a cowboy hat.
That he does.
That he does. Enjoy your evening, Ryan. And that is it for us here for the NTV Evening News Hour. Thank you for spending this time with us.
Global National is up next. They'll be talking about WestJet flight attendants having issued a 72-hour strike notice and what that means if you have a flight booked. Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.